My soon-to-be brother-in-law called me a gold-digging parasite, then his parents liquidated his $2 million trust. I met Elias while we worked night shifts at a fulfillment center. He drove forklifts to pay off medical debt. I boxed inventory and cleaned gutters on weekends. Neither of us had inherited wealth. We didn't pretend to. We split ramen packets down to the cent and considered sitting on my rusted sedan a nice date. When Elias proposed, he used a silver band he forged from a melted coin. I adored it. I loved him for bleeding over the anvil to make it. We pulled every spare dollar to buy a foreclosed, off-grid cabin in the woods. Wood stove, peeling paint, a porch that sagged in the middle. We paid 20 grand in cash. We invited 50 people for a massive bonfire housewarming. His parents, Arthur and Helen, were overjoyed. They offered their generator, helped string up fairy lights, and Helen even baked 3 dozen pies. Then Elias's older brother, Marcus, got involved. Marcus was engaged to a woman named Victoria, who came from old shipping money. Their first home was a custom downtown penthouse with a private elevator and marble floors. Marcus had been designing it for 2 years and treated it like a royal coronation. When he found out about our rusted cabin bonfire, he completely lost it. He called Elias while we were painting, and I could hear his booming voice echoing out of the speaker. "You cannot be serious right now. A swell party with paper cups? People are going to think our family is completely bankrupt." Elias told him it was our property and our aesthetic. Marcus hissed that it didn't matter because Victoria's investors would see the geotagged photos and judge him by association. He demanded we cancel the party until after his penthouse reveal so the family wouldn't look like hillbillies. He said if we truly respected the family name, we would sell the shack. Elias hung up on him. Marcus didn't take that well. 2 weeks before our bonfire, Marcus showed up at Sunday dinner at Arthur and Helen's estate. Victoria was with him, plus her maid of honor, plus 2 of Victoria's venture capitalist cousins I had never met before. It felt entirely staged. The energy in the dining room was toxic the second they walked in. Halfway through the roast, Marcus stood up. He had a thick manila folder in his manicured hand. "I need to say something before this family makes a colossal mistake," he announced. He ripped open the folder and slammed printed investment statements onto the mahogany table. Elias's private portfolio statements. He'd somehow gotten access to his secure accounts, probably through a legacy corporate portal that was never deactivated. He held the papers high so every wealthy guest could see the bolded numbers. Elias has $85,000 in liquid assets. He has hoarded it for 3 years, and yet he is making our family stand in the mud at a $20,000 foreclosure like we belong in a junkyard. He pointed a shaking finger right at my face. "You told him to hide that capital, didn't you? You're bleeding him dry. You're pocketing his portfolio and forcing him into this garbage lifestyle so you can siphon the difference." He turned to the horrified table. "She's a financial predator who convinced my brother to buy a fake house so she could steal his future, and none of you are stopping it." The massive dining room went dead quiet. Elias stood up so violently his heavy oak chair crashed backward onto the floor. "That money is for my mechanical engineering degree, Marcus," he roared. "It is none of your business, and you illegally breached my portfolio." Marcus didn't even look at him. Victoria nodded along like a wind-up doll. Her cousins shifted in their tailored suits, looking deeply uncomfortable. Arthur put his wine glass down slowly. Helen stared at Marcus like she was looking at an absolute monster. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred, but I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I looked dead at Marcus and said, "We built that portfolio together. Every single cent for his tuition, because his education matters more to us than marble floors." Marcus rolled his eyes. "Right, that explains why your engagement ring looks like it was dug out of a scrapyard." The entire table flinched. Even Victoria looked down at her lap in shame. Elias grabbed my hand. "We are entirely done here," he snapped. We left the estate. I didn't sleep a single minute that night. I sat on our uneven floorboards and cried for the first time in years. Not because of the cruel ring comment. I cried because he hacked our finances, printed them out, brought elite witnesses, and prosecuted me as a thief in front of his entire family. That's when the real bombshell dropped. The next morning, Helen called Elias. She was trembling with rage, but not at us. She had aggressively confronted Marcus about the printed portfolio, and Marcus arrogantly admitted he still had the master passwords to Arthur's wealth management firm. Marcus had used his own father's executive login to bypass the security firewalls without telling anyone. That same afternoon, Arthur and Helen called their lawyers and dissolved the $2 million trust funding Marcus's penthouse. Last I heard, he's renting a studio apartment.